Hey folks, ssjpacman here, bringing you another hardware unboxing video. Today we're going to be taking a look at the ASRock x470 Master SLI AC motherboard. This motherboard has Wi-Fi pre-built onto it and SLI enabled. It also has RGB pre-built onto it and is made for the new Ryzen 2000 series motherboards with the M4 socket. So let's open it up. For some reason, this one didn't have like a manufacturer's seal on it. Just wanted to point that out. I thought that was a little bit interesting, but I did buy it new, so I don't know why it wouldn't. But so let's take a look in here. A little teeny tiny screw. A couple of antennas there. High bandwidth bridge. 1, 2 SATA 3 cables, another teeny tiny little screw, and a crap ton of required reading material. Ooh, a CD and a sticker. Let's put this stuff down. I have nothing that I can do with that CD. I think there's also a sticker in here. Yeah, it comes with a little badge. And a postcard. Don't know why you would send anybody this as a postcard, but whatever. Oh, there's something on this side. Oh, the I/O shield. There's going to be anything too special in here, but there is a lot of book there. Let's set those down over here. Here we are. Meat and potatoes of this. So, a couple of things about this motherboard. This sound isolation bank here seems to be the same as the ASRock Tai Chi. I think that also the Fatality board, I think they're all made on this same design. They just silkscreen it differently. 4-channel RAM, or well, 2 channels, 4 slots. These don't move on the left hand or on the lower side of the motherboard, only locks in on the top side, it looks like. M.2. From what I understand, the new design on these heat sinks for the M.2s actually are working on the ASRock boards. I think Tech Yes did a video about that. Also said that the VRMs here were staying really cool, around 65 degrees Fahrenheit or Celsius. So I mean under 70 degrees. This is not an LGA socket, so this will have pins that will slide down in there and gets locked in. As far as it goes, I will be changing this out to a water cooling block, so we're going to get rid of the mounting supports here. So this board also has armored SLI or armored PCI Express 3.1 ports, and they are armored, so you shouldn't have nearly as much sag as far as it goes on the video cards. I think Gamers Nexus did a video about mounting though, and how you can get rid of GPU sag. It might have been Jay's 2 cents. It was Jay's 2 cents. So as far as that goes, definitely check out his video about getting rid of GPU sag. It has a lot to do with the screws that mount it to the actual case. This board has 6 set of ports here. 1, 2, four USB headers, it looks like, and audio header, as well as at least 3 fan headers. I believe it also has like a dedicated for RGB LEDs. Yeah, there's a little dedicated thing right here for RGB LEDs. This is where the power I/O is going to be for your case. And taking a look here at the motherboard I/O, I hear the dedicated audio on these things is fantastic. I don't know if they all are using the same audio chipset, but I hear the onboard audio is really good on these. Dual band AC Wi-Fi. It has HDMI coming off in case you have, if you're getting a 2500G or 2400G or 2200G with the built-in graphics, the Radeon 8 or Vega 8 and Vega 12. I believe all of these are USB 3.0 or 3.1. One of them is a USB Type-C. Another one is supposed to have like super low latency. I think that's this blue one here. Gigabit Ethernet and a PS2 port. Some of the differences between this and the Tai-Chi: there's no RGB LEDs up here that I know of. I haven't hooked it up yet. I'll have to double check that, but I don't believe there's any. I believe the only RGB is around the ASRock logo here. Overall, I've got to say, this board is one of the nicest looking boards I've ever had. I've never bought top of the line $300, $400 boards or anything like that, but I've generally stayed around the $200 price point. And this looks nicer than any of the Asus or MSI or Gigabyte boards I've ever had before. So I really got to say that they've done a fantastic job for what the limited amount of money that this costs. And I believe it's mostly due to it being Newegg exclusive. On the back side here, I know that you can't see that much because of the foam, and I'm not going to take off the foam, but there's not really a whole lot going on back in there. You can just see the back of the M.2 ports, but won't be installing this for a couple more days until I get my new Ryzen 2700X. And I intend on this being a gaming / mining board, and I think that it'll work out real good for me. I mean, you can get a total of 6 GPUs on this thing, in case you're looking at it for mining. I know that the 2700X is currently mining at about 75 cents per CPU, so that's pretty good. I think that's overall about it. I gotta say, I really like this board a lot. It looks great. For the money, I don't think you can beat it. It has everything you could ask for. One of the things that I should point out is this M.2 is the faster of the two M.2s. I think this one is not rated at the same speeds as the upper one. Not something that I'm terribly worried about. I have 3 SSDs, so I'm not really looking to get an M.2 quite yet. Not until I get a little faster. But I'll let you guys know how it goes after I get it installed. We'll have a definite update. I plan on doing a build vlog. I'm just going to take out the last couple things out of the packages. I've never had one of these high bandwidth bridges, and I have 2 GTX 970s. I'd be curious to see if it has absolutely any effect at all, but I think that Linus has already done a video about the high bandwidth bridges. You can see here, it's a high bandwidth bridge. Just check to make sure this is still recording. We are. That's a pretty good looking high bandwidth bridge. Subtle, not too overstated or anything. That's exactly what I'm looking for out of that. I don't think this IO shield looks like all that much. I've had other ones that have a little bit more going on with them. It's a pretty box standard. It doesn't even have the soft backer like you like to see. It's one of the places that they cheaped out a little bit, which I totally understand. I believe this only cost $129 or something like that. So it definitely wasn't overpriced. Just taking a look at it here, it does tell you several things. They're incredibly hard to read. USB Type-C, USB Type-C 3.1. It does not say gigabit LAN there. One of the things I thought this had was a BIOS reset in the back here, but it does not come with the BIOS reset in the back. I'm actually not sure how you reset your BIOS on this yet. Let's take a quick look here. I was almost positive that was back there. But that is definitely not back there. I'll be damned. Well, that sucks a bit. I have no... There it is. So it will be with a... You will have to do a jumper here to clear the CMOS, which is a bit of a pain in the butt when you got your computer all built and everything, but I'm used to have to do that. I've been, I guess, a little bit spoiled with my new motherboard on my ancient 2500K that I'm upgrading from, so this will be a real big upgrade for me. I am a little bit disappointed about that. That kind of sucks. I might have to make my own button. I do like to overclock. That is one of the reasons I bought this board. It has a 12x4 power phase for the CPU. I don't know how to count this, but I'm guessing that there's 2 in each one of these little blocks right here. I don't know if you guys can see. Let me turn the board around. And I believe each one of those carries 2 phases. There are 6 here, and then there are 2 here. The 6 go for powering the processor, but the other 2 go for powering the rest of the board components. A couple of USB connector, or a couple of SATA connectors. I don't know if I like the ones with the little metal clips on them. I'm not in there yanking on stuff. I don't know why I would need that per se. What else do we have here? One more antenna, and then there are 2 of those little buttons. I believe those little buttons are for the M.2, is what I'm guessing. No clue. Not a whole lot going on with these antennas. I think that is about it. Good looking board. A little bit disappointed that it does not have that reset button. I thought it did. But anyhow, if you liked the video, like it. If you didn't, you know what to do. Subscribe if you want to see more, and I'll have a lot more videos coming out. I've got a pile of stuff to unbox, and then hopefully Wednesday I'll have the processor. We'll do the build vlog. Thanks for watching.